Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the GTX 1050 Ti, as you can see here in MSI Afterburner and here in GeForce Experience. And I'm gonna be running it with the Ryzen 7 3700X, of course, with 16 gigs of RAM. You don't need a 3700X to run the 1050 Ti without a bottleneck. I think like something like a 4th gen i5 should be able to provide you with the FPS that we're seeing right now. So I'm gonna be testing it as always at 1080p with this type of graphics cards, which are like recent GPUs, like entry level or whatever. Anyways, moving on. 1080p, as you can see, is the resolution of choice for today, and I'm gonna be testing it at low settings, which is right now, you know, everything is set to the lowest, as you can see over here as well and here as well. I'm not gonna touch the experimental settings, by the way. I'm also gonna be testing it on medium settings, but the game doesn't have really any presets, you know, so I have to guess. So medium settings for me at least is like everything in the middle of the sliders over here. Then I'm gonna be testing high settings, which is like 3/4 of the sliders, and then ultra settings, which is everything maxed out, as always, okay, as we did for example with the GTX 1066GB and the GTX 1650 Super earlier. By the way, now I'm running the game in the SSD because it improves loading times by quite a bit, and we might be seeing a little bit less stuttering because of that as well. So maybe the game just really likes SSDs, I don't know, but yeah, we got a couple of stutters here right now, so I don't know about that. Alright, let's just try to find a foresty area. I think this way is like, I'm seeing like vomit trees all over the place, but you know what, guys, I'm really glad that the lowest settings in Rust are like this bad, because that means that, for example, the GT 710 and something like that, like if you have a really low end computer, you might be able to still play Rust. Of course, the game will look like this, so I'm not really sure if it's enjoyable or not to play like this, but at least it's playable, you know. So if you have something like that, you should be able to play the game at least. So as opposed to the GTX 1060 and GTX 1650 Super, our GPU usage isn't really in the 50s, like 50% usage. It's like approaching the 90s sometimes, and it's mostly like around 80 to 90+% usage. So yeah, the GPU is working quite a bit here. Oh my gosh, the shadows loading in, just popping in out of nowhere, as you can see there. But yeah, that high GPU usage means that we are approaching like a GPU bottleneck, which is what you want to see really in games. So just gonna eat this because I want to regenerate some health here. By the way, this is a modded server, but our FPS are pretty much the same, because we were still getting like a CPU bottleneck and getting like into the 100s and like 80 to 100 FPS. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Are they raiding this space over here, guys? Anyways, that's enough of low settings, I guess. We're tired of seeing these lack of textures, I will say, and like that floating vomit all over the place. Like, look at that. That's awesome. That's how low settings should look like in most games, in my opinion. I would love to see more games looking like this on low. 95 FPS on average, 1% lows of 61. That's pretty decent here for the 1050 Ti. I think the 1% lows are still the same as the other two GPUs, but you know what? I'm not really sure if the stuttering is as bad, because whenever it stutters, at least it doesn't stop for like a full second or so. So maybe installing it on an SSD is the way to go for this game. So let's put it on medium, and now let's try to set everything more or less to the like middle of the sliders. This one I won't be using it here on medium settings. I'm only using that on high actually. Okay, so let's put this like on the middle, around that. Yeah, so alright, everything's good there. Oh, wait a second. Why is the FPS limit at 100? It didn't really affect anything there, but still, it was weird. Our GPU usage was like maxed out anyways, so yeah. Okay, FXAA, sun shafts, I think that's it for medium settings, guys. I think these are the settings that we used earlier in the other video. Let's apply this. We don't really need to apply it, but okay. So as you can see right now, I think everything is loaded in. So yeah, putting the game on an SSD was like the best thing I made here so far today. We are getting like around 60 FPS. Sometimes it actually drops into the 50s here on medium settings. Of course, with the other two GPUs that I was talking about that I already tested in Rust, the game ran absolutely amazingly well with high frame rates, except for the very bad stuttering issues. But yeah, that's just how the game works. Alright, so we got a few stuffs here. I just crafted those, and well, the game's running well here on medium settings. I'd probably play like this, you know, it looks obviously much better than low settings, and we're still getting like around 60 FPS on average, as you can see, 59 FPS there on average here, around trees and stuff like that. So this is pretty intensive on the GPU, by the way, whenever you get into a forest and stuff like that. Yeah, so seeing like 55 plus FPS all of the time is pretty damn good. Of course, our 1% lows indicate otherwise, but keep in mind there's always those little stutters that are really annoying in this game. But so far so good. It hasn't stuttered as much as the other GPUs, so probably an hard drive problem. So if you have an SSD, even if it's small like mine, you know, my SSD is only 120 gigabytes. So yeah, I just had to uninstall a few things to install this game on it. But it was a wise decision, I would say. It's running pretty well now, and the 1050 Ti is doing a great job. So if you want to play this game on medium settings, or like at least these settings that I'm using right now, you might not call it medium, who knows, but if you want to use these settings, the 1050 Ti can definitely handle it with like a 60 FPS on average. So that's pretty good to see. Right, should I go here? Probably not, but I'm gonna try it anyways. Oh my gosh, there are staircases and stuff like that. Oh boy, no, please. Nice. Okay, so we are in like a bit of a base here, I guess. I'm not gonna do anything here. Okay, so yeah, that's medium settings for you. Our averages are pretty decent here, and it's a smooth experience overall with the 1050 Ti. I'm happy to see that. Let's do high settings now. Okay, so high settings like 3/4 of the way whenever possible. Okay, this one on the middle. Okay, let's do like this. Yep. Okay, so now here I'm gonna enable some ambient occlusion as well, high quality bloom, lens dirt, and sharpen. So I'm not gonna enable any of those other options, motion blur, depth of field, and vignetting, because I don't really like those. And let's do some SMAA here, because it doesn't really affect your FPS by too much. As you can see probably now in the video, our FPS are okay still. The game's still playable with these FPS. Back in the days I used to play this with an FX CPU, the 6350, and a GTX 760, and I was getting like 30 to 45 FPS around that, and the game was completely smooth. So well, not completely smooth, but it was completely playable. So yeah, if you want to play like this on high settings, it's not a bad experience, but of course I would probably choose to play on medium instead of high, because yeah, the 60 FPS smoothness, you can't really beat that. But anyways, if you really prefer the higher quality graphics settings, because the game looks a lot better, as you can probably tell by the textures and the ambient occlusion in the grass and stuff like that, it looks like really good, to be honest. It doesn't look bad at all here on high settings. And yeah, if you want that quality, visual quality experience, you can still play like this. Unless we drop here from 30 FPS, I would say it's still a playable experience. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing something. You know, oh my gosh, our FPS are dropping way too much here, looking at that thing over there. And I'm hearing some radiation, so we better not go there, guys. Alright, just gonna pick up this stone over here. Yeah, I can't really approach that. I don't have any radiation thing. Oh my gosh, that was a big stutter just by tapping in. By the way, yeah, let's just move this way. So far, just by roaming around here, we've seen our FPS in the 30s. Sometimes it drops into the 20s, as you can see right now. So I would say this isn't really that playable anymore with sub 30 FPS. So yeah, in a few areas with like more trees and stuff like that, or bigger city areas, whatever that was like back there, you're gonna be seeing drops from 30, so I don't really like that. Stick to medium settings here with the 1050 Ti in Rust, but still, we still got to test ultra settings, of course. So yeah, that's been it. Our 1% were a little bit affected now by this little stutter there, but they were at like 20 something FPS. Our average is at 36, so it's not that bad, you know, but I don't like it, of course. If you have the option to play at higher quality settings, actually I forgot to turn this on high settings, but whatever, shouldn't matter too much. Okay, let's just max the game out right now. Okay, like this. Yeah, okay, so everything's maxed out over here, as you can see here. I'm not going to be enabling those three because I don't like them, as I told you already, and I'm going to leave the anti-aliasing at SMAA. I'm not going to do TSSAA or whatever it is. So yeah, right now the game is just, it looks good still. I personally can't really spot the difference between high settings or ultra settings in this one. It looks the same to me, to be honest, but it runs way worse. As you can see right now, we can't even touch the, okay, we can actually touch the 30s while nothing is on our screen, like only this grass here, but still, it's not that good of an experience, I would say. So just avoid ultra settings if you're playing at 1080p, of course. If you're playing at a lower resolution like 900p and 720p, you should be able to get 30 plus FPS all of the time on both of those resolutions, of course. But oh my gosh, look at that. We even dropped into the teens, you know. I saw like 19 while we were dropping from the cliff there. So yeah, this isn't really a good experience. The 1050 Ti is not really aimed to play at 1080p ultra settings like anything, at least. Maybe some like esports titles and stuff like that. Oh boy, what can I do here, guys? Just climb the palm tree, of course. Oh boy, oh no. I just slided off that thing. Okay, let me grab the horse, by the way. Can I ride the horse, please? Ride the horse, yes. Alright, let's just move on. Ah, I'm a barbarian. I got the axe. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, so that's been it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a pretty decent experience here with the 1050 Ti in Rust, and of course I don't really recommend ultra and high settings in this one. Just play on medium for those like optimal visuals and performance, and you'll be fine here with the 1050 Ti, and something like a 4th gen i5 or even like a 3rd gen i5 should be able to do the job as well. Oh yeah, that's probably the thumbnail, my friends, with the 19 FPS, unfortunately, but yeah, that's a good knife right there. That's a good knife. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next time, hopefully. As always, I love you all. Bye-bye.